information from virtually any of these teams. Craig Jones in the middle, we do know he is definitely looking for a new job because Triumph had withdrawn. So a good ride today. Well, it's an unusually coloured motorcycle. It is an unusual motorcycle to have amongst a grid full of Japanese bikes, of course. And to see the Triumph go out on a winning note, it would be their first ever win. Can Craig Jones do it? Here we go then. Big revs from the British Supersport as they start the last race of the year. The Triumph was just a bit slack, it bogged down, and he's gone backwards behind Carl Harris. But look at Jay Vincent. Style indeed. Jay Vincent on the Padgett's Honda drops into red gate for the first time and looks so cool, calm and collected. Who's that up underneath him? Monster Bob Ducati of Michael Laverty goes second. Then it's Perariba in third place. On the outside and most dangerous line is Sykesy, of course, on the TAS Suzuki. Look at Michael Laverty up the inside. What a great few corners from Michael Laverty. Michael Laverty qualified on the second row of the grid. Whoa, he's been done though.
Top Sykes on a mission here. Michael Laverty.
Yeah, but he's just been done again by Jay Vincent. Jay Vincent got somehow back round him as Sykes forces up the inside of Laverty. Laverty's eased out of McLean.
I just hope Craig Jones didn't get a jump start because his front wheel definitely moved before the lights changed. He stopped again, then went after the lights did change. I just hope he doesn't get a ride through penalty.
I was fairly sure that he won't get a jump start. He did move a little bit, but I don't think it was enough, and certainly it bogged down big time. We'll see.
Everyone in determined. Look at Laverty down the inside.
Great move.
What a hand across the paint. Fantastic.
Absolutely superb stuff. So Laverty goes to the front. Well, Monster Bob Ducati really have. It's been grim this year as far as race wins are concerned for them. But Laverty, he wants to finish his season off as Jay Vincent comes so close to the rear end of Laverty there. The 22-year-old from Tunbridge in Northern Ireland.
Great to see him this sort of form. Jay Vincent's not giving in that easily. Just touching round going out. It's on to start finish right. Jay Vincent gets out in front there, but Michael Laverty's the most determined route I've seen him all season.
Well, I think Michael Laverty is
bike working really well down the inside into red gate. Craig Jones up to fourth.
Come on, Jonesy. My support, money and everything else is on Craig Jones for the final race of the year, final race ever for the Triumph, as Jay Vincent looks at the inside as they come down to the hairpin. But no, Michael Laverty.
749 Ducati of Michael Laverty's working so well.
Well, it is said that Red Bull rookies will sign Eugene Laverty, the 17-year-old Laverty, to come up into this class in 2005. Eugene Laverty, Michael better watch out because Eugene is really a talent on the 125 class at the moment. Let's take a look at this. Down into this was this move that Laverty made up.
Passing one there would be a result, but getting both of them and neatly across the paint, fantastic through the funky essence.
It was a hell of a move. So still Laverty and Vincent battling it out. Oh, Jay Vincent, that was class. Yeah, really forced there, didn't he, up the inside. Still Laverty in the lead though.
Stuart, he's made a blinding start. He's up into.
Look at Jonesy. Look at Jonesy closing in. No jump starts, it says on my monitor.
Good news.
No jump start at all for Craig Jones. He can just get down and do the business. And what a business that would be. Jay Vincent, 24 leads from 4, Michael Laverty. From the TAS Suzuki of Tom Sykes, from the Valmoto Triumph of Craig Jones, that's bike 18, Perariba on the MSS Discovery Kawasaki Holmes interview in 5th place. I'll tell you what, he's not going to like dicing with these youngsters. He's used to doing it nice, neat and cleanly like you do in the World Championship.
Almost forgot about our championship winner, Carl Harris, at the moment back in 6th position in the background at the moment.
It's always the case, new lap record, Craig Jones, well that'll be something to go out with on the Triumph. And look who had the old lap record, Casoli from the World Series. That is a 3-year-old record though, 136.013. But still, no mean feat for the Triumph. Look at this. Vincent out front on 24. Sykes now in 2nd place, just getting underneath Michael Laverty as they come up towards McLean's through Schwantz. Up to Coppice now, up the hill. Perariba not making any impression on these 4 out front at the moment. Still, Harris is there, but back in 6th place. Fastest lap to Jones, 136.013, a new lap record for Donington Park in the Supersports class. Sykes moves to the inside of the track, too far back to take a lunge though at Jay Vincent. Not so for Michael Laverty. Unbelievable. Now around the outside as they come through. Oh! Did they touch?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did.
Big time. I'll tell you what, they made them all flinch. Not as much as they made me flinch.
Craig Jones there, number 18 on his favourite part of the track, and we can see that down the inside of Laverty. Lovely pass.
Take that, Michael Laverty. So, Laverty goes back to 4th place. He did lead this race a moment ago. Jones is on a mission. Pirelli shot as well, we should mention.
Jay Vincent on the Dunlops at the front. Tom Sykes on the Pirellis, and Jones also on the Pirellis.
Always worth mentioning the Monster Mob Ducati on Dunlop as well. And then the Metzlers on bike number 8 of Pirelli. Oh!
We've already seen that.
That's the same effect, second time round for us.
Scared me every bit as much.
Smoking the rear wheel then as Jonesy locks up, slides it in. Remember that move at Old Hall last week at Oulton Park. How good was that from Craig Jones? Vincent, Sykes, Jones, Laverty, Reba, Coates, that's your top 6. The other TAS Suzuki of Adrian Coates is there. Harris back in 7th place now. Coates has got the better of him. Paul Young down in 8th place. Stuart Easton in 9th. Cal Crutchlow, Matt Llewellyn and Luke Quigley on the build base, not sponsored bike as well. Not having a great weekend here. Andy Tinsley was edged out in the super stock class for the championship win by Danny Beaumont earlier on today. And so the build base boys on a bit of a downer at the moment.
Jay Vincent in front, he had half a second on the last lap there. We can see Tom Sykes has closed that right up, and Craig Jones number 18.
Watch this. This is going to be interesting as we come down towards Fogarty's.
You can see him trying, just loses out in top end there.
Oh,
but
and through comes
gains on the brakes. Fantastic.
Forces his way through as well.
Brilliant.
We're going to have to start practicing alternate words, I think, Neil. It's getting like the old Julian Ryder Ewan outfit here. You with the knowledge, me with the mouth.
Better grow a beard.
Better grow a beard. No, don't do that. Up the inside then.
Well, I thought he lost out in top end there. I thought, well, there's no way he's going to pass anyone here. Unbelievable.
And you're the expert, Neil.
Yeah, I'm the expert, allegedly. Someone else had told me that.
Must have dreamt it.
Tom
Sykes out front on pole. He has converted that so far. Fastest lap still though to Jonesy on lap 2. Well, I can tell you number 2 has fallen at the Melbourne hairpin, so 2 is down at the Melbourne hairpin. That's Matt Llewellyn on the Ducati Coventry bike. That's Stuart Easton's teammate. How close was that going down Hollywood?
You can't pass around the inside there, but Craig Jones had a look anyway.
Well, in the middle of that set of corners, near 125 miles an hour where that was all going on.
I'd love to see Craig Jones backing his bike into corners, but that cost you time, and he's doing a lot less of that in this race compared to Oulton Park.
Watch him at McLean's.
Yeah, but
oh, I thought he was going to have a bit of a struggle with Tom Sykes there. These two, well, we've said it before, they're old muckers. They're used to doing it together. I can't imagine a pass up in the coppets then.
Bit of deja vu here for these two.
Got to get the drive, but look at Jay Vincent, the consummate professional in 3rd place, looking to get the perfect slipstream from 2 motorcycles now as they come down under the Dunlop Bridge down towards Fogarty's. And Jay Vincent has got up the inside of Craig Jones, but Craig Jones is going through on Sykes, straight through underneath, backs in just enough into Fogarty's, blocks him off in the middle of the corner, gets the drive, and Sykes is going to have to sit there till the next turn, which is Melbourne. 3 abreast as they come over the hill to Melbourne now.
Well, Sykes he wasn't wrong when he said he'd have a yellow trial to deal with.
He wasn't either. I think he's going to have yellow paint all over the blue TAS Suzuki before this day is out, that's for sure. Just hope everybody stays on the track, because this is the best race of the day by far. And another contender for Neil Mackenzie and his Think Rider of the Day. Well, I have to remind you, you gave the Think Rider of the Day. No, you didn't. I did in your absence last year to Craig Jones on the Triumph.
Well, he's set
at this race meeting last year.
Yeah. He comes from a long way back on the brakes. You see Tom Sykes, better mid-range on that GSXR Suzuki, stronger out in chicane there. Managed to get back in front at the hairpin. Jack
Valentine to the left of your picture there, Valmoto owner. So Vincent has gone through on the Triumph at the moment, but Craig Jones, we're only 1/3 distance so far. Best race of the day so far, and the fans are on their feet round here at Donington. Record crowds throughout the 2004 Superbike season in the British scene here, and you can see why, can't you? It's a class. Oh, look at that. How lovely was that? I do like to see masters at work, and really Tom Sykes cut above there.
Bike certainly looks like it's working well. They're all working well.
Yeah, I was going to say
Craig Jones probably riding the hardest out of these 3.
Don't forget the Kawasaki as well, Perry Reba and Laverty, the Ducati all amongst it. So we've got Suzuki, Honda, Triumph, Ducati, Kawasaki. What other class have you got 5 bikes across the front?
Yeah, we just need a Yamaha in there to complete
Not yet, but next year the R6 is coming, the modified R6. I wonder what that's going to be like.
Well, Simon Andrews earlier in the season was certainly a run at the front, but it's not this weekend.
Ah, Jonesy sideways on again. Perry Reber is the threat here, I reckon, on the back of this lot. He had a good race tyre, they reckon, but I have to say it's been a bit inconsistent over the last couple of meetings with the MSS Discovery boys. Oh, Jonesy again, it's just costing him more and more time on that time.
When the tyre's gone off, it's easier to back in, but it does cost them more time.
It was the complaint that Jim Moody, if I remember rightly, they were trying to dial out that backing in syndrome that the Triumph tended to have. You know, as a road bike, it's brilliant, but when you just need that nth degree in racing, it makes it so difficult to keep control.
Like I said, it was so much better last season when they had 2 riders. They had Jim Moody there to help with development, and progress went forward, but it stayed pretty static this year with one rider.
He's just 19 years old at the end of the day, doesn't have perhaps the repertoire that Jim Moody has, and of course it's good to compare notes with another rider of a great standard.
Well, Jim ridden pretty much every Supersport bike and won a few championships as well, so he certainly was a man for
We got a lot to come though from Craig Jones, I feel. Still 19 years old, and I think that if he gets a great firm, he really does know how to ride a motorcycle, and there's nobody I've seen with a better feel for a bike than Jonesy.
Yeah, well, he's had to ride that Triumph hard just to make up at some of the sections, some of the racetracks, so it's been good for his riding. It would be just great to see him on a competitive bike next year. He would definitely be a championship contender. Jay
Vincent, 3 wins so far this year, trying to make it his 4th if he can. Still, where is Carl Harris? Let's have a look. Back in 7th place. Well, he must be pulling wheelies and playing. Carl Harris on the HM Plant Honda, the champion of 2004. Just cannot get on terms with these guys, and you would expect him to be normally. Seemed a little bit subdued in qualifying.
Well, there was some talking to Paddock yesterday that Carl might be trying some development parts this weekend, and that was the reason for his poor qualifying, whether that's true or not. I know that a few weeks ago he went really fast to your testing.
Sorry, just every time I look at Jones, he's sideways on, and he ran a bit hot that time. Mind you, Carl Harris, we're talking about poor qualifying. It was only, well,
5th.
Yeah, 6/10 off the top pace. So Carl Harris, 5th on the grid, 2nd row for him. I suppose it's poor by his quality. Tell you the man who's going to be most disappointed at the minute out of this bunch is going to be Perry Reber, the Spaniard that rides for the MSS Discovery team. That is a real international team. Run in Essex, of course, by Nick Morgan and Stuart Simmons, and run a super stock bike with the Frenchman on it, Julien de Costa, that will be moving up with MSS Discovery. We're led to believe at the moment it's not signed, sealed and settled, but with Kawasaki into the superbike class next year, so we've got a lot to come from that team. But right now they could do with going out on a high note with Perry Reber winning this race. Don't think it's going to happen today though.
He's looking like he was hanging on there for a while, but he's lost a bit of ground now. Michael Laverty, half a second behind Michael Laverty, and 1.8 behind leader Jay Vincent.
We talked about lap records.
Oh, someone off there at McLean's. There's someone run off there at McLean's.
We talked about lap records.
Easton, is it? Stuart Easton?
Yeah, well, already we've had Matt Llewellyn down, so Stuart Easton must be next up. Jonesy under Sykes, that's going to be tight. Oh dear.
Tom Sykes not going to give him any space.
No, well, Sykes found himself out a bit wide, and Jonesy managed to drive under him. He got the cut back and went for the power a fraction earlier than Sykes, as he was right out on the wide one.
Interesting, yeah. Tom Sykes backing in a little bit. Meanwhile, Michael Laverty gets closer, and Perry Reber.
Well, I think they've all, on this dead stop stuff, they've been thereabouts, haven't they?
Yeah.
And Reber on the brakes is something to behold. That Kawasaki's a good motorcycle. In fact, there's not a lot to choose between any of these today.
Different lines here.
I was about to say about Jay Vincent, you know, on lap 7, he now has the new lap record and the fastest lap, 1:35.9. That is a hell of a time for a Supersport bike round here.
It certainly is.
Oh, listen to the revs on the overrun. Jack Valentine, you might well shake your head, my son. Doris's wife in the background there. It's a great little team. They too are looking for partners for next year as we look at his man Craig Jones, as he looks for the cut back up the inside of Tom Sykes. It's a good camera angle because it gives us, you can just see Jonesy getting on the power, so does Sykes, but Sykes gets it spinning and finds him out a bit wide. Good camera there. Jay Vincent through the right-hander of McLean's, chased by Craig Jones. Tom Sykes, if they just settle down a little bit, they need to get that momentum back up and try and go forward rather than interfere with each other, because otherwise Jay Vincent is going to get off the front here and they're not going to have an opportunity to get back with him. I can't believe we're only at half distance, Neil.
Yeah, well, Jay Vincent is looking strong. He set that fastest lap while at the front, and as you said, these other guys holding each other at the back, but it makes sense again for them to settle down, try and pull Jay Vincent back.
Still it is Jay Vincent, the veteran of Grand Prix and British 250 Championship. Of course, you've got to mention as well, Jay Vincent never rode this bike before this year, never been in the Supersports class anywhere in the world, came into here cold, had what, 7 or 8 months off, he hadn't been on a motorcycle for a while, and Jay Vincent really has taken to this class very well.
Yeah, Jay Vincent hardly rode at all last year. He won 250 GP outing and a rider Rob Max Virgin R1 Yamaha at Open Park. So it just shows you what class act he is to come here and win some in races this year.
Leon Camier, his teammate, is down in 11th place at the moment, so a real struggle for Camier. We heard that he was taking some physiotherapy treatment before the race. Obviously he has a bigger problem with his arm than he thought he had, because you would have expected Leon Camier, the youngster, in the form that he's been in on the latter part of this year, to be something like now. Then Craig Jones is going to put lap on lap, and he looks to me, he's trying to bridge that gap. Wouldn't be surprised to see a fastest lap from Craig Jones, and a lap record from the Triumph in its last ever race really will be something I think the whole of it. Yeah, I think so too. The whole of this circuit would applaud it, and there would be a contender again for the rider of the day, Neil.
He'd be right up there. I'd even agree with you in that one.
Oh, I have agreement from Mackenzie. First time today. Jay Vincent, 24. Craig Jones, 18. Then it is Tom Sykes, 142 miles an hour, 43 miles an hour for Sykes. Just getting, maybe picking up a bit of slipstream off of the rear end of Jonesy. Still looking to see whether we're going to have an even faster lap, because I think that he's been towed round here, Craig Jones. Oh, class! You just love the way this kid rides a motorcycle, and he's not losing a lot of time on a dead stop turn like that.
He almost had to do that.
Yes, pretty much, to scrub the speed up. Here we go, up the inside. Is he going to be able to pull it down? No, he's not. Jay Vincent has managed to get the cut back on it, and that's messed up what probably would have been the fastest lap of the race. Let's have a look as they go across the line. Vincent still, no, I'll tell you what, how about that?
That would have been a fast lap.
It is a fast lap, and it's Reba's fastest lap, 136.938 on lap 10. Perry Reba now has the lap record on the Kawasaki.
Craig Jones 136 dead, and you've got to think he lost at least 2, maybe 3/10 of a second at that last turn, so it could well have been a...
It's only a matter of time before Craig Jones gets a lap record here. If I sound like I'm willing him on, I'm unashamedly a Craig Jones Triumph fan, although these kind of lunges aren't going to do him a lot of good this early in the race.
Brave pass there, but he nearly pulled it off.
He nearly pulled it down onto the apex, but not quite this time. Jay Vincent knows what to expect though, doesn't he now?
He certainly
could come anywhere.
Well, probably doesn't know what to expect, because Craig Jones will have a go anywhere.
Well, certainly the man behind Craig Jones knows exactly what Craig Jones is like. They had a whole year in junior suicide, as it was known at the time. Junior super stock, to give it his credit. Yeah, right into the eyes of Jonesy. Right. Jason Vincent looked over his side as Tom Sykes gets a big slipstream, and on the brakes now on the Suzuki up the inside of Jonesy. Well, while Vincent is staring back at Craig Jones, Sykesy says, while you admire each other, I'll have the place.
And Michael Laverty.
Yeah, still there. Laverty, and don't forget the Kawasaki that was on the pace a little earlier as Jonesy nips back into second place. Carl Harris still back in 6th place on the number 1 bike. The champion doesn't have to worry about this, isn't he lucky?
Perry Reba still with the fastest lap, but Carl Harris not far behind, 136 dead as well. So Carl Harris not going slow, but not keep making any ground with Perry Reba at the moment. I'm
amazed these guys are going as fast as they are, considering how much passing there is going on. And normally you just can't make these kind of times if somebody's tripping you up mid-corner. Through Redgate on lap 12 of 18. This is going to be a hell of a race at the end, I have to say. I hope the tyres stay with them, so we've got a real cracker.
Well, I'm impressed with Jay Vincent, because he had a good look round there at Craig Jones. Just got his head down, dug in, and he's put a gap on Craig Jones.
Dunlop tyre shod Honda on the front, Pirelli shod Triumph behind him, followed by another Pirelli shod bike, that's Tom Sykes. Dunlop's on the Ducati, in 4th place, number 4, Michael Laverty, and then the Metzlers on Perry Reba's bike, the MSS Discovery Kawasaki, in 5th place. Reba still with the fastest lap as we come up to Coppice. A really difficult blind corner on the entry, and then just asking for the power all the way around this right-hander. He who squirts it on first is fastest down this straight as they peak out at something like, well, 145 mile an hour, 150 mile an hour, surely from not back there, Craig. Tell you what, he's going to trip himself up if he tries that one.
He's close enough a third of the way down that straight, but just that top-end speed of the Honda and the Suzuki loses out to, so he does have to come a long way back to do a pass on the brakes.
Oh, Triumph sounds good. I'll tell you what, he's getting just before. So it's Jay Vincent.
Jay Vincent at the moment,
well. Yeah, he did indeed. He sat up too. So Jay Vincent just to give us an indication that he is trying. And look at the momentum the Triumph had onto that straight, just because Jay Vincent got it spinning a little earlier.
Well, that pushed Jay Vincent a little bit wide.
Yeah, it's all a bit of a push and shove. Jay Vincent won't be too used to this, but I'm sure he'll welcome it.
Yeah, he's dealing with the Admiral at the moment.
He is at the moment, but I think it's likely to intensify as this race moves on. Don't forget, the pole man was Tom Sykes on the TAS Suzuki, and that's a great result from the Hector Neal, Philip Neal managed team from Northern Ireland. And they are now the lap record, the fastest lap record holders anywhere in the world with their superbike. At the Ulster Grand Prix, 129.3 miles an hour. Bruce Anstey, a one-off ride for him at the Ulster, and that is the fastest lap record anywhere in the world, at any circuit anywhere in the world, roads or otherwise. So the TAS Suzuki boys have got a lot to celebrate this year so far. It's been a slightly inconsistent early part of the year for them, but they've certainly got it together mid-season onwards.
Out of the 5 riders here, Craig Jones is probably the one with the least definite plans for next season, and probably doing himself the most good here.
Well, you've got to like the kid, there's no doubt about it. He's a really, really nice young fella. Oh,
just because he does that?
Oh, yeah. Well, he's gone third. Wow. Sykes, he pops it through. Tom Sykes then. Jay Vincent, first he thought it was a yellow Triumph, then he sees a blue Suzuki. Maybe he's seeing things in black on it. Oh, dear me, now we've got Sykesy backing it in all over the place. Real talent here. Has Reba gone through the fourth? Yes, he has. Look at it. Bike spinning all the way, so Reba has decided to up the ante as well. On the Kawasaki, he goes fourth. The Ducati goes back. Up in the second place, it's the Triumph now. He's following his old mate, Tom Sykes. I hate to think what these two are capable of later on in this race. As the Honda, I'll tell you, that Honda is sharp, isn't it? Along that front straight there, just powered alongside the Triumph. Unusual, that Triumph usually is pretty much a match. It's all down a little bit, of course, the gearing, and he's coming out of almost a dead stop corner onto the front straight, so it is real sheer grunt. Not a lot in it from any of these bikes.
It's a long shot, but you know, Carl Harris is getting closer to these guys in 6. It's only 4 laps left, but Carl Harris took half a second out of Michael Laverty on that last lap.
And he is, what, 4 seconds, 4.5 seconds off the leading group.
He needed a lot of time.
I was going to say, that is...
even for an expert like me.
Lovely sense of humour. Neil Mackenzie, if you met him in the bar, you'd realise that Neil...
I would buy you a drink.
Yeah, he would buy you a drink, and he also gives me a really hard time. In commentary, I'm let off all the way, and there's nothing worse than having a polite teammate. And then he duffs you up when it comes to the race.
To lull you into false sense of security.
Indeed. So, what can Reba do on the Kawasaki? Can he get on terms with the top trio? At the moment, it's Tom Sykes easing away very well for a load of flippant banter here at the moment, but Tom Sykes has just managed to apply the pressure out the front. If he can put together a couple of laps, just break the back of the boys behind him. I don't think he's going to do it with Jay Vincent, to be frank with you, but certainly Sykes has caught him napping a fraction, because he just managed to ease out a little bit at the front there. What's the time? Sykes then. Does he make a quick lap? Oh dear me. Vincent, 1:36.8, a new fastest lap and a new lap record. How many times has it been broken? I think 4 or 5 times, am I counting? Vincent has the new lap record again, 35.8. Down Hollywood and onto Craner Curves. Then it's the old hairpin. Will Jay Vincent slide up the inside? How neat is that? It's a classic manoeuvre. Looks easy. It really isn't. You've got to carry momentum. Well, but like you said before, you run a little wide on the outside, and then through Swans, Tom Sykes was able to neatly apply the power and regain the advantage.
Yeah, it's not too difficult to get down the inside there, but the tricky bit is staying in front on the exit.
Brings me back to when I saw you there many years ago on an LC 350.
Oh, Jay Vincent, big moment there through Covers, ran wide, Craig Jones underneath.
Jay Vincent then.
Reba, and he slips.
Yeah, I was going to say, now Jay Vincent has got a lot of work to do, because they've let Tom Sykes right off the front. Remember, we're on lap 15, coming towards the end of it, of the 18. Tom Sykes has got an advantage. Well, we're joined here in the commentary position by Nick Barnes and his wife Judy, keeping an eye on what the Suzukis are doing. Nice to see you at a racetrack, of course. Reba takes a look at the inside of the Paget's Honda. Suzuki though off the front, and it's looking good at the moment. I tell you, it would be... I want the Suzuki to win, but I have to say, and I'm going to get a slap for it, I would so much like to see the Triumph win at the end of this race. It really is a cruel situation that we've got two men here that you want to win a race almost as much as each other. But from my point of view, this is... Oh, well, that'll just sign and settle it, won't it, really, if Jay Vincent manages to force his way back. But, of course, he runs a little hot out of Redgate, and Craig Jones retakes the advantage. Got to say that Tom Sykes on that Suzuki just looks slightly better, slightly smoother, and as if the motorcycle is staying with him just that bit more consistently, Neil.
Looks like a strong package. When Jay Vincent set that fastest lap there, I thought, well, Dunlops are looking good, but Tom Sykes on that Suzuki just seems to have it everywhere.
Tom Sykes, Pirelli shot.
Craig Jones is
right there again. He never gives up, does he?
No, you can guarantee that.
Look at Jonesy now. Well, I mean, I suppose if anybody in front of Jones, he sees Sykes. These two are used to this. They were at it all last year. No, the year before, sorry.
You can see Jones out wide there at Coppice, and normally out there's not a lot of grip, but Craig Jones is finding some grip because that's where the rubber rolls up and spreads out there. But this is the part of the track that Craig Jones, he says, comes into his own, so he can throw some time back here on Tom Sykes. So
I think he just forces it to fit through this section, doesn't he, really? He just manhandles the thing into the turns. But you've got to say, Tom Sykes is doing a great job, even around this part of the track.
Yeah, Michael Laverty back
still there. Best race of the day, I think. 36, Tom Sykes.
If Craig Jones is this close in the last lap, he'll attempt to pass him in.
Without a doubt. In fact, if he's twice as far back, he'll attempt to pass him. Yeah. It'll be a block pass sideways on into the last turn.
We will see all his sponsors, even if he's coming towards us. Takes it.
I thought he was going to take him wide, but he hasn't. He has absolutely kept it on there. Laverty with a new lap record. It's got to be 6 times, surely, we've had lap records. Laverty in 4th place, fastest man out on the track at the moment. Jones in front on the Valmoto Triumph, followed by the TAS Suzuki. No, he's not. It's now the Paget's Honda of Jay Vincent. But, and has he got the drive? TAS Suzuki out-drags him through Schwantz. Brilliant stuff from Sykes.
Strong mid-range from the
But Suzuki. I tell you what, good stuff that he's doing all of that as far as Craig Jones is concerned, because if these two mess each other about, Jonesy, if he can stick in a smooth lap and a half here, remember where we are, we're on, well, halfway through lap 17 of 18 laps.
The only trouble Craig Jones has got here is this is where he really benefits from the time from a slipstream, but he can't have a slipstream obviously being in front, and Tom Sykes is going to drive that Suzuki down there. Wrong place maybe for a passing manoeuvre, but he certainly made some ground on him.
He was offline.
Can't you get a word in?
Great, isn't it? Now I know how you feel. I'm glad I'm using
puffing and blowing over there. I don't know what's wrong yet.
Craig Jones was out on a wide line at Coppice, but it hardly matters now as we get down towards Melbourne. You know what it's like in a year or two's time, Mackenzie, believe me. 18, Craig Jones has still got this lead, but we're about to start the last lap, and this is where it gets really, really tricky. Jack Valentine is going to lose weight on this last lap. There he is on the left, Doris is on the right, his wife, and this is going to be a cracking day for Craig Jones.
Good for Jonesy. Good for Jonesy.
Vincent forces out Tom Sykes. That is good for Jonesy, and he sits up in the middle of the corner. Sykes is back in 2nd place. Vincent slips back to 3rd place. They're shouting all around us. We can hear him here in the commentary position. Look at this. Down through Craners. This is the hairpin. One passing place has gone for Tom Sykes. There is just 2 more. I suggest Fogarty's and of course the Melbourne hairpin. Through we go. Schwantz curve out towards McLean's.
Coppice is going to be crucial.
It's going to be Coppice corner. Oh, I'll tell you what, that is tight there as we come out of there. Sykes, he ran it hard. Jay Vincent back to 4th. Laverty up to 3rd place now. Backing it into Coppice. Does he get good drive? The Triumph has got to get great drive here. Down the back straight now, under the Dunlop Bridge. And I'll tell you what, that's a big gap. Tom Sykes has got to really work hard now if he's going to make a pass from here. He surely can't do it from that far back.
Jonesy there.
Absolutely brilliant. Backs it into Fogarty's. Blocks the middle of the apex. He's got Laverty that's forcing his way around the outside. Jones has got 2 more corners on the Triumph. Go on, Craig Jones. You can do it on the Triumph. Sykes takes a look, Jonesy backs in, will he have gone wide? No, he hasn't. Laverty trips up, so does Jay Vincent. That's it, the Triumph is going to win. Sykes has spun it up, Laverty comes through to 2nd place. Craig Jones is going to win surely on the Triumph. He comes through the last bend. Jay Vincent went down.
Laverty second.
No, he didn't. Laverty second, but Craig Jones takes the first win for Triumph. They are retiring at the end of this race. No more Triumph. He has never won a race at British Supersport level. They came into the series 2 years ago. Craig Jones has given them the biggest farewell present they could possibly ever want. Jones is looking for work. Valmoto are looking for new partners to race in the Superbike Series next year. Haven't they done their cause a whole load of good? Jack Valentine's downstairs with Jonathan.
Yeah, we were watching Jonesy win that race, but at the last corner there was bikes everywhere fighting for these rostrum positions. And look where ended up: Lavity second, Sykes in third, and Vincent fourth, Perriba fifth.
Well, Michael Lavity got what an absolute cracker in all possible ways. Craig Jones on the Triumph in its retiring race wins for the first time ever in its short 2-year career. Michael Lavity finishes in second place with a new lap record. Tom Sykes, the pole sitter, ends up in third place. No disgrace there. If anybody should have won it, it could have been him. Jay Vincent, well, he might be a veteran, I suppose, compared with the 3 men in front of him, but Jay Vincent really did see a classic ride all around him. Perry Reba from World Supersport comes here and finishes 5th in a classic. Carl Harris, the reigning champion. He was the defending champion. He is the 2004 champion. Could only finish 6th place. Cal Crutchlow and Paul Young round out our top leaderboard. Luke Quigley on the build-based bike is there in 9th place. Simon Andrews on the Piranha Yamaha having a dismal day here at the moment in 10th. He would have sorely loved to have been up the front there. It is such a strong field. Adrian Coates on the other TAS Suzuki in 11th. Tom Tunstall, Kieran Murphy, Jamie Robinson and Leon Camia lowly 15th, and the last point for him. Championship standings: Carl Harris the champion already, that was confirmed at Alton Park. Jay Vincent is second, and that's confirmed. Michael Lavity third, Perry Reba in 4th place. Sykes, Quigley, Camia and Jones now are our top 8 in the